All right, good evening, everyone. It is Monday, November 24th. The time is 6 p.m., and it is our regular meeting. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Kamal,
Here.
Davis,
Here.
Kennard,
Present.
Jackson,
Here.
Laster,
Present.
Rogers is present, Piles.
Excused.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. And can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we are now at the acceptance of the agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the November 24th, 2025 meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Laster, supported by Davis. Any discussion? Roll call. Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Kennard, Jackson,
Yes.
Kamal,
Yes.
and Rogers. Motion is approved.
Thank you. We are now at public comment. Seeing none, for the record, we have. Oh, I apologize. Thank you for following the instructions.
We have Sarah Carter.
Good evening, Board. It's been a while. I'm Sarah Carter. I am a reading interventionist at Hale Creek and also the REA president. So on behalf of Hale Creek Elementary, I want to extend our heartfelt thanks to Jessica Race and the entire Romulus High School Marching Band for participating in the annual Hale Creek Fall Parade. For those of you that do not know, Jessica Race, formerly Jessica Mills, attended Hale Creek during her elementary school years. And the fact that she wants to help Hale Creek keep this wonderful tradition embodies the us in Romulus. The band's performance added so much spirit, energy, and excitement to the event. We truly appreciated the time and effort she put into preparing for our parade and for leading our students so enthusiastically throughout the neighborhood. The music brought smiles to everyone along the route and helped make the day memorable for our school community. Additionally, I want to thank the Romulus Police Department and Romulus Fire Department for keeping our students safe as we navigated through the Hale Creek subdivision. Thank you again for your dedication, teamwork, and talent. We are so grateful for all that you do to support our school and community traditions. Thanks.
Thank you so much. We are now at the presentation portion. We have an audit report from Gaybridge and Company.
Good evening. My name is Joe Verlin from Gaybridge and Company, and I thank the board for the opportunity to be here tonight. It was a pleasure working with the staff at the school. They did a wonderful job providing us with the information that we needed in order to be able to complete the audit. And what matters more than anything else in this report can be found on page 1. This is where we provide the opinion on your financial statements. And essentially what the opinion means is we were provided financial statements. We went through, we confirmed and verified the numbers with various financial institutions, the state of Michigan, and everything checked out. The numbers were verifiable. In the second paragraph down, we wrote, in our opinion, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the school as of June 30, 2025. This is referred to, I would explain it as being a clean opinion on your financial statements. This is the gold standard. The technical term, according to the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, is an unmodified opinion, more commonly understood as being clean. And it means something to get a clean opinion on your financial statement. We've had larger organizations with qualified or adverse opinions on their financials. So it's certainly kudos to the staff for getting to this point. At the same time, always should be the school's goal to have a clean opinion on the financial statements. Next, if you look 2 more paragraphs down, we see an emphasis of matter paragraph. This is unique. We don't have one of these every year. And all that we're trying to do is point out to the readers that there was a new standard issued during the course of the year that impacted your June 30, 2025 financial statements. So the Governmental Accounting Standards Board issued statement number 101. It just had to do, it changed, slightly modified the way that the compensated absences for paid time off are valued on your financial statements. It did have an impact on your financial position by about $1 million. It was material to the financial statements. Footnote 14 explains what that impact was. It doesn't change anything economically. There's no cash going out the door. But we are trying to do, or the Governmental Accounting Standards Board is trying to bring a little bit more conservatism with regard to how that paid time off liability is reported on your financial statements. Next, if you go to page 6, we get into the management discussion and analysis section of the report. If I were reading financial statements and I wanted to know how my community was doing, this is what I would read. This is the Cliff Note version of the entire audit. You get some financial highlights, 2-year comparative financial statements, and some narrative explaining reasons behind the significant changes in your financial position during the past 2 years. So starting with that first bullet point in the financial highlights section, this is a theoretical number. Theoretically, if the school were to sell all of its assets and pay all of its liabilities, the difference, well, you would come up $26,440 short. You're inching ever so close to getting to a point where you have a positive total net position. Virtually every school district in the state of Michigan has a deficit net position because of the long-term retiree health care liability and the long-term pension liability. But the fact that you guys are getting close to having a positive net position is certainly an encouraging sign. If we back off the non-spendable items, your total net position includes non-spendable items, buildings, equipment, vehicles, and also includes restricted amounts for food service, things of that nature. When we back off all of those items, we can see that the school's total unrestricted net position was a deficit of about $53 million. Again, we don't like seeing deficits, but what's encouraging is that second bullet point down, we can see that your total revenues for the year came in just over almost $61 million, and you had total expenses of $45.5 million during the course of the year. Your expenses were certainly the beneficiary of strong market returns on retiree pension assets as well as the retiree healthcare assets. Both of them earned about 15.5% interest or investment income on all of those assets. Those certainly helped keep total expenses down. Not necessarily something that you can always count on happening, but at the same time, it did happen, and it certainly helped improve your total net position to the tune of almost $15.5 million during the course of the year. If a reader of the financial statements asks the question, is the school better off financially at June 30, 2025 compared to June 30, 2024? The answer is yes, by approximately $15.5 million. Third bullet point, now we're talking about the school's fund balances, and we're talking about what are your immediate resources compared to your immediate obligations. Think of it as being checkbook accounting. Total fund balances across all the school's funds increased by about $1.3 million, leading to an ending fund balance of about $8.8 million as of June 30, 2025. And then lastly, that fourth bullet point shows the unassigned fund balance of your general fund. So the general fund is the most important fund of the school. Unassigned fund balance is the most important element of fund balance because you can use that to cover the day-to-day cost of running the school. Unassigned fund balance came in at $4,157,056, and if we divide that by your annual general fund expenditures, you're at 9.4%. Healthy school. The Michigan Department of Education likes that number to be north of 10%. You're right there, very close to benchmark with regard to where Department of Education is looking for schools to be. For the year, your general fund total fund balance decreased by $618,615. So certainly, we don't like seeing decreases in fund balances. It's not nothing alarming. Certainly something to be mindful of, and just kind of work towards continuing to balance budgets on a go-forward basis. But as of June 30, 2025, school's in a healthy financial position. If you take a look at page 8, we get a look at some of the assets and liabilities of the school for the last 2 years. Just a few rows I wanted to point out. First, cash and investments. Top row, always nice to know how your cash is doing. And you can see June 30, 2025 came in at just under $12.2 million compared to about $10.1 million at June 30, 2024. So roughly a $2 million improvement in your cash position. That's a good sign. If you look a half dozen rows down from there, your net OPEB asset improved by roughly $6 million. It's always nice to see your assets increasing. And your, again, that has to do with the 15.5% return on retiree healthcare assets. They drove your overall net OPEB asset up from $866,000 up to $6.9 million as of June 30, 2025. And then if you look about 80% of the way down the page, you can see the net pension liability. That too had a significant improvement. Now, the fact is your pension liability is just that. It's a liability, not an asset, meaning that the total pension liability is greater than your total pension assets. But it improved. It was $48 million liability, and that number decreased down to $38 million. So you're trending in the right direction. Every school district that participates with MIPSers has the exact same condition. This is nothing that's unique to Romulus. And then 2 rows up from the bottom, your unrestricted net position was a deficit in 2024 of $56.3 million. That number improved by just about $3 million to $53.3 million. So a healthy improvement in your unrestricted net position as of June 30, 2025. If you turn one more page to page 9, you can see that about halfway down that schedule in the 2025 column, your total revenues during 2025 were about $61 million. That compares to about $60 million, just over $60 million in 2024. So pretty consistent revenues year over year. 4 rows up for the bottom, you can see your total expenses, again, very consistent, $45.9 million in 2024. That number decreased to $45.5 million in 2025. And then your change in net position was $14.2 million favorable in 2024 compared to $15.5 million in 2025. So back-to-back very strong years with regard to the improvement in the school's total net position. And then just a couple other things that I wanted to point out. If you go all the way to page 33, we get into the long-term debt schedule of the school. And this schedule shows your beginning long-term liability balances and the changes as well as the ending balance for them as well. So if we when we aggregate all of your general obligation bonds together, you had $32 million of bonds payable as of June 30, 2024. You met all of your debt service principal payment obligations during the course of the year of roughly $8.1 million, leaving you with an ending balance of $23.9 million of unpaid bonds, which are scheduled to be paid off in full at June 30, 2030. So getting closer and closer to having those bonds paid off in full. The next row down, your school bond loan fund, at the beginning of the year was $2.3 million. That was paid off in full, and there was no balance as of June 30, 2025. So now altogether, almost a $10.4 million reduction in your long-term liabilities during the course of the year. And then the last thing that I wanted to point out, because of delays in publishing the 2025 compliance supplement, the Office of Management and Budget, the federal agency responsible for passing the annual compliance supplement, they haven't gotten around to passing or to publishing the final version of the compliance supplement yet. And for that reason, the school is unable to finalize its federal single audit report. Until they do publish the final version of that, Michigan Department of Education has put a deadline on your single audit of 30 days after the final version gets published by the Office of Management and Budget. So we don't really know when we're going to be able to submit and upload the federal single audit report to the clearinghouse. That is kind of the last step in the process that we haven't been able to complete yet. But the opinion on your internal controls over compliance over your federal funds will be clean when it does get submitted to the Federal Audit Clearinghouse. We had 2 major programs, no findings over either one of those programs. So everything checked out, and just a clean all-around audit in terms of your financial statements, clean opinion on the financial statements, healthy financial position on your healthy financial position for your funds, and then with regard to compliance and controls over compliance, that came out clean as well. Those are the highlights that we've got, but I'm certainly happy to take any further questions the board might have.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Any questions from the board?
I have a question. You're not part of the board, but superintendent. I know I heard you say that bonds are paid off in 2030, right? You did say
Yes.
that. So we just had a we went out for a bond and it failed by 200 votes.
Sure.
Just recently, and we plan to go out again. It does make sense to go before your bonds fall off, to go and try to get go out for an additional bond, right? Because one of the things that I'm writing to the community is, wow, what I'm going to hear next year is, oh, you're raising taxes. One of the things that I said is, we also decrease taxes too. You never hear that narrative. You only hear you're raising taxes. But we've decreased because the bonds keep falling off and they will continue to fall off. Then that's why we went out when we went out, which was a net zero increase. Now that's gone. Not going to have a net zero increase. Now we're going to have an increase because the bonds keep falling off. But as someone who doesn't do bonds much, I'm not in that business. I rely on others here. Every year, do they just keep falling off, or is it certain times, like twice a year?
Approximately $8 million per year of principal is getting paid off, all the way through until they're fully matured, which will be in fiscal 2030,
8 million per year falls off.
approximately. So, and a lot of, this is something that you would want to, work on, just messaging, because a lot of the school districts will do that. They will issue bonds, and there's no impact to the taxpayer. They simply continue to pay in at the same level that they have been. So it is possible to design the bonds in a manner where there is no impact to the taxpayers. They simply continue to pay in their debt millage, as has been the case.
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure I was right. When I said it the way that it was right. And now it's just, they're going to continue to fall off. That's a good thing for a community. But when you go out for a bond, people say, well, you're going to raise our taxes. Well, they're falling off. I mean, so thank the district for that. It's not even thank the district. It's just the process.
Sure.
Gets paid off. I mean, they go down, and then we're asking to leverage that so that we can come back. So
Yes.
for those that are watching, we're coming back. Thank you.
Sure.
And thank you. It's and this would be more to Maria Gistinger's leadership while she was here, to have a clean audit. We have Dana now, Miss Blair, who's doing the same and more. So we expect a clean audit next year, and that's to everybody that was involved, not only the Board of Education, but our principals, everybody that was associated with running the operation of the school district, not just principals, but I'm just saying our directors as well. So this was a good thing, 0 findings.
Treasurer Kennard?
Yes, Madam President, Board, I just want to make a statement. I went to the back of the report, and I was reading summary, and I want to say, let the board know that in the majority of the findings, they were saying there were little to no difficulties. And so we know in the past that we've had quite difficulties with our audits. And so, in reading it, I'm happy to hear, to read that this process went the way that it did. Okay, and so it validates what you're saying in terms of that we're on the way of the path of being more accountable and having our practices. And I want to thank our finance director, who worked very diligently with you. I can imagine what she had to do and working with you. So I just want the board to know I read this. That's when he was talking, I was hearing him, but I was at the same time looking at the back and see what I could pull out without seeing this for the first time. So those difficulties things that you find that's not significant, I'm quite sure that probably has to do with, documentation or whatever, and we're working on those types of things. I'm quite sure we're doing that. So thank you very much. I just wanted the board to know that.
Well, this is I think my third time seeing you since being on the board, and it's just been on the up and up since our first meeting. I joined the board in 2022, but officially sat down in 2023. And just to hear about a clean audit and just the transparency and the finances in order, and that's just something to just thank the team for, and your team and what you presented, because a lot of people always talk about the money. That's the main thing. They want to know about the money and how's your district doing. So this just shows that we are continuing to be transparent and making sure that we have the systems in order to make sure that we get that fund balance over 10%
Sure.
and keep doing what we're supposed to be doing. So thank you.
Sure.
Any other comments, questions? Thank you so much for your presentation.
All right. Yep. Thank you. Happy holidays. Yep. Same to you.
Consent agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the November 24th, 2025 consent agenda as presented. Matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If any member of the board or any citizen requests discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent portion. A, approval of the minutes of the Board of Education for November 10th, 2025, regular board meeting, November 10th, 2025, closed session, and November 12th, 2025, special meeting.
Support.
It's been motioned by Rogers, supported by Davis. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rogers is yes. Davis?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Bernard? Yes. Kamal?
Yes.
And Laster?
Yes.
Agenda is approved.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. We are now at the district update from Dr. Edmondson.
Thank you. Try to keep this brief because Thanksgiving's on its way. I need to prepare it if you keep this short for you all. I hope that you have been at least hearing about the Ignite and Inspire speaker series that we have that has been in our middle schools and our high schools. We have twice a month bringing people, not only in this community, but outside the community, to talk to kids about their careers, okay? I had the fortune of speaking on my career. I've spent 30-plus years in education, so I spoke briefly about being a teacher and a principal, but I talked more about superintendency, the positives, the ups and downs, the negatives that go with the job, just being open with students about the potential, the financial. I mean, there's, again, pros and cons to the job, but I had a great time talking to all 500 students about my career. It took me about 55 minutes, but they're doing it at the high school and the middle school. I think we're done now until 2026. But if you ever get an opportunity and you'd like to talk to your career, kids need to see it. They're exposed to a lot of careers, but lots of times there's nobody to really talk to you about a career. So we're going to continue that series. You're always welcome to join us, and you're also welcome to talk about your career, whatever it is. Kids need to hear it. So I'm just pretty excited that we're continuing that with Ms. Karina Coleman, who's been running that program, and I had a great time talking to the high school students. As you may or may not know, I just returned from the aviation conference in Indianapolis. We're one of a few schools in the county that is piloting an aviation track, a CTE track. That's where we're headed. We have an aviation class in our 8th grade. That's obviously in its fledgling year. It's inaugural year, but I learned a lot. I got there on a Saturday, and I think the first session we went to was Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. Immediately, it took me 10 minutes to find out what we were doing and what to expect. It was just that open. What I don't want anybody to feel is like, oh, our kids are going to get a pilot's license. Not likely. They're going to be exposed to aviation. They will have an opportunity to pursue a pilot's career, and we would be one of the communities that's helping kids work toward that. But they were like, in all actuality, you may have one that becomes a pilot or gets their pilot's license, but they're trying to expose kids to all the careers that are available in the aviation industry. So we're doing it. I can tell you Belleville is doing it. Taylor, River Rouge, E-Course, and I'm missing somebody. I know it's one or two others, but we're all working together, and they're trying to bring 8 more in the county in next year. So we're ahead of the game, but it was important for me to just be there. Last year, I sent folks to go to Atlanta, and then after they went to Atlanta, they went to Alabama to see a program that was actually working too. But I'm just excited because I believe in giving kids an opportunity. That's all they need is an opportunity to see. What they do after that is clearly their choice. But if we can expose them to that, that would be nice. I learned something too. I'm kind of giggling, but I'm not. We have a wonderful simulator back in this building. It's a beautiful flight simulator that our director of technology, that's kind of his baby. That's how he feels, but I'm going to break that up. That's not his baby. But I learned just about, bringing in, and I want to thank you for that purchase because it was important. We had an opportunity to do it. We did it. There's some things that I would do differently now, and so would he, having more information. But just getting kids into those into the simulator if we get a chance to do that. May not happen this year, definitely will happen next year. But we've put a few resources in our aviation program already. A lot of the idea came from that there are a lot of cities where kids go to school where there's an airport and all they see is a fence that says "Do not enter," ours included. So, they're like, let's give kids an opportunity to see what's behind that fence, what's in the hangar and things like that. So I'm just looking forward to that program growing. And again, I learned a lot. I thank Adam for driving, and I drove, took 6 other people with us, so a total of 8. It was a great experience, and I'll be coming back with more information as we grow in our program here. But I need you all to encourage kids. Hey, are you taking that aviation class? What aviation class? That's probably what you're going to hear. We have one in the 8th grade. We're going to be moving it to the 9th grade, not just that. And it's going to pretty much align with our drones after school program that we should be starting again in 2026. It'll kind of align with that. So there'll be an opportunity as well for kids to become pilots with drones and get a drone certification, excuse me. So you'll be hearing more about that next year. And please, if you don't, you need to ask me so that I don't forget, because I'm getting older. If you had a chance, we did our RMS medallion ceremony. I don't know if you were invited. So one of the things that I have to say that I noticed, and that was a faux pas, not all schools, and I'm not going to put theirs out there, but some schools have to do a better job of communicating when they have these events. You can't call us, even those of us that are in central office, telling us 2 days from now you're going to have an event. We need to know these things. You need to know that. We need to work with Eve as well, getting that to you, because there's a lot of things that we do, but if they're 24 hours for you to respond, you all have jobs. You just can't do the turnaround. So I'm going to take that one because I realized that came very late in communication. But there were, I think they said 63% of the students got a medallion, that's good, but it begets another question, right? So what question would that be? 63% of the students have gotten A's, B's, and C's. It begets another question. From me, Mr. Hanson's over there shaking his head like it was 2021. Does anybody know what it begets? What question would you have? 62%. Any board member willing to throw themselves out there? Criteria would be one. Criteria. If we have 62%, what does your other achievement look like? Is it aligned? These are questions that I have, and I hope that you would have those questions, not only for me, but when you walk into a school, if 62%, then our data needs to look some kind of way too. Are we just giving out things? And I'm not saying that's going on, but I think it's a great question to start asking if you see that. So that was the middle school. I also went to the Hale Creek, had their award ceremony. I left there feeling really good. It was really cute. It felt good that just making certain that they acknowledge kids for different reasons. Everybody's not going to be a superstar, right, Darcel, Mr. Davis? Everybody's not going to be valedictorian, are there? There's only one, right? Exactly. I'm still chasing that. I'll try to get myself in school somewhere so I can make that happen. But it's a nice event. I feel really good about the district. I am working on this newsletter. It is now 22 pages. It'll be front and back, and it's going to go out to the entire community because I realize that we need to do a better job communicating with our constituents and those who aren't. Because as I said in my newsletter, there are a lot of people in this community that are depending on people in this community who don't know anything about this school to tell us about our school district. That's not going to happen anymore. But you're going to see in my newsletter all the different things that we're doing here in the school district. I'm not even doing a good job sharing all the things, all the photos, all the things that we have going on in this district. But that newsletter will be coming out on sometime in December. I tried to get it out in November, couldn't do it. Sometime in December, I hope to get that out. We have a message from our Board of Education president and my directors, or our directors, also putting some information out there. But I think it's just important to continue to highlight the things that we do well. Yes, we need to get better in a lot of things. But let's also talk about the things that we do well, and I need to make sure that I equipped you to be knowledgeable in those areas to be able to talk to people when they ask you, the naysayers ask you what's going on. We talk about growth here. I can tell you all about the growth that we have in the school district, but some of the other things that we're doing. So you'll be getting that newsletter too. And I'm just excited again about the things that we're doing. We have some fundraisers that are coming up. Dodgeball, I know the Board of Education will field a team together against another 7 other people, maybe challenge another school board, something like that. But we have some fundraisers, some fun things for kids that we're doing. And lastly, today, the middle school and the high school, their student councils got together, they went bowling, and it was important to get all the kids together to see how they can work together. And I challenge them to work together on one project for the year. Doesn't matter what it is, I don't care. But we had the principal of the high school, Dr. Harvell, challenged every kid if they beat him in bowling, he'd give them $100. Then he's bragging that nobody beat him. So then he said if they got good grades, he'd give them $10. So there are a number of kids that left with $10. But I just like the energy that we have coming out of the buildings. I think generally speaking, kids like being here, generally speaking. But it's not just about liking it here, but it is important to feel that you're loved, to feel that people are on your side and going to push you. And that's my job, to make sure that kids feel that way and to also give them a level of rigor in the things that we do. So again, thank you for the job. I'm dead serious when I say that because we all know that I didn't have the job at one point. But I just thank you all for entrusting me to run the school district, and I will continue to hold students in high regard, and I will work hard on behalf of not only the students but the community. So thank you.
You sure that's it?
You know I can keep talking now. I tried to
right.
limit it to.
And now
tried
we
to
are-
limit it. I didn't come with anything.
We are now at the report of board subcommittees. Anybody want to go?
Board, the sinking fund committee did meet, and in your board packet, you have the information in terms of what we discussed. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And and Jason will be coming to us sometime or another with some recommendations to the board at a later date.
Thank you.
Yes, and that sinking fund, did he talk about Bittergy? Did he mention that? Or that was not part of the sinking fund? He talked about that separately. Bittergy is where we're putting things out for bid, like our old trucks and things like
That
that,
was at
all of
the
our
last
assets.
meeting.
Okay, all right. So there's still an opportunity. There's a few district assets that you might want to consider purchasing. A couple of old trucks and things that you could roll around.
Did you put that in the newsletter?
No, I didn't, because by the time it gets out, it won't. But if you're interested in a truck, I got one for you. It has RCS, and you could go in there as the new board trustee, looking like Sanford and Son.
Yeah, they're that old. They're very old. Yeah.
The curriculum committee will be meeting on Tuesday. We're meeting on December 11th. Yeah, that Thursday. We're going to do, it's going to be from 4:30 to 5:30.
Did you say that was the hospitality committee?
No, I said curriculum.
Oh, I thought you said hospitality.
Curriculum.
Thought it came
And
with
that's gonna be
cakes.
via Zoom
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So I'm gonna get with Eve, because I know you told her that it's a district Zoom that we can use, so it's longer. So I'll get with her to let her know.
The strategic plan subcommittee ended earlier than expected, so I will schedule something for December. I'm not sure when.
Trustee Kamal, why did it end early? What happened?
Because I was using the free version. I wasn't using the correct version.
Yes, that's to the board. You don't have to use the free version of Zoom. All you have to do is ask us, and we can set that up. There's Eve there. Yeah. Yes, we'd prefer, right? Just do the Google.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we don't want that to happen. Right in the middle of everything, Trustee Kamal disappeared.
So moving forward, like how you see it notated under the board subcommittee on the agenda, that's how I would like for the minutes to be, just for archived information and just so everybody is aware of what's kind of going on in the meeting and for transparency purposes for the community. Is everybody good with that? All right. I'll be brief. I just want to say congratulations again to the whole entire district, because this is a win for everybody, a clean audit. That's amazing. Thank you, Madam Secretary, for coming. It's good to see you. I'm sorry, Madam President. I'm looking at you and looking at her. But yes, for your just for your presence and showing up, and Mr. Hanson as well. And I want to give a huge shout out to Wendy G over. I see that they have 4. Yeah, they Miss Gretch. Do you think I said like Wendy Williams or something? Okay. Oh. Okay. So since the beginning of the school year, they said July 1st, they've had 31 students that have graduated and 4 students earn a GED. And I also saw a student from Belleville on their Facebook page saying they're waiting on their transcripts and they're trying to join our program. So just if you see something positive, share it, reshare it, you know, because that is one of the events that we have that I truly enjoy. I shed a tear. You will see some interesting things walk across the stage, like the excitement, the family, the support. So if you can come out to RVLC or RECC graduation, it's a time to be had. So I just want to congratulate them over there, and for Miss Wendy to keep doing what she is doing, getting people enrolled. And that's all I have. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I'm sorry, RECC. Adult Ed. Okay, shout out to Miss Dunn as well. It was a long day today. RECC, everybody. We love everybody. You can do that on your closing. Got it? Thumbs up. All right. Reports from the board. We'll start with Trustee Kamal. Thank you. Treasurer Kennard.
No, I'd just like to say happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and thank you for attending our meeting today. Thank you.
This might be the shortest one ever. Madam Secretary.
Kudos to the entire district and the staff for a clean audit. First time since I've been on this board, 7 years. So this is the first time that we've had one with no,
Clap that up.
you know, it's very good to hear. It's very
Just say that again for the people in the back and YouTube.
It is very good to hear after being on the board for 7 years to have an audit with no findings on it. You know, we just praise and thank for the staff that we have and the hard work. Wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe.
All right. Trustee Jackson.
Yeah, I just want to, how y'all doing? I want to acknowledge the middle school boys basketball team. I went and seen them, not the last game because that was today, but the 6th and 7th grade team, especially because I coached a lot of them gentlemen, and they were undefeated. I find out later today if they won today, but they doing really good. I just wanted to put that on record and acknowledge them, and then just happy holidays to everybody.
Well, thank you. And Vice President Davis. You full over there? Okay. Dr. Edmondson, close us out.
I don't know how we want to close out, but I know that we had a discussion about the 31AA monies. We're one of the litigants. As you know, our school district has won, and now there's some just new information. Well, the first thing I guess I would say is that the state has received, well, they're doing, what do we call that? They are kind of negotiating before we get to the lawsuit, just some aspects of it. So they're allowing school districts to opt in. They opt in prior to a decision by the courts. You can opt in, and then if the court, if we lose the suit, you have an opportunity to opt out by December 30th. Where the struggle is at this point is that the suit specifically is just about waiving privilege. It doesn't address the other stuff that we haven't really talked about, but, you know, it's no hiding when you have a mass casualty event with it doesn't even say kids, it's 3 anybody's. What does that mean? What does that mean? It could be a bus accident. It could be anything. And then the state comes and says, you have to do this because you took the money. So it's a tough decision for me. It's actually easy, but it's a tough one that once you take money from people, then you're beholden to whatever they tell you to do. We've been very fortunate through Mark Graham and some of our financial practices that we've been able to use other monies to pay for, this would be Officer Cofield and some of the other things, that we have money to do that. If you don't take it, then you don't have to, I don't have to sign a waiver. I don't have to do anything. It's just keep doing business the way we're doing it. No thanks. We're good. But if we don't, if we take it and something happens, a mass casualty. Okay, so they say, we don't care about privilege. You and what your attorney talk about, that's between you all, but we're coming in and doing an investigation. Do you really want, or do I really want, or do we really want the state coming in doing an investigation? And as I said to my colleagues when I was one of the ones that spoke up, I said, first of all, you have a mass casualty. You'll never be the same. Doesn't matter who comes in, where, what, you're never going to be the same. So you already had that pressure. Then you have the state coming in, putting pressure on you, talking about your career and other people's careers, and it's just too much. So, I'm just at the point where I'm like, well, let's just move on, and we'll just use our monies, our 31A money, not 31AA money, to compensate what we would have used elsewhere. Because honestly, and I don't want to talk religion or anything, but I fear that anything happens like that, and then when that happens, then everything else is complicated too. I just don't need all that. And I have been talking to colleagues, and it is about money. Some districts cannot afford to let that money go, while others can. And we are fortunate enough that we can. It's a lot of pressure, and I guess honestly, you pay me to make decisions, and I make them decisions on what I think is best, not only for kids, but our staff too, and our community. I'm just at the point where I'm like, we'll do fine by what we have now, and we will continue our services. We will just move money that we have through other means, through other state means or federal means, and just cover what we need to, and we'll just move on from there. And it's a moot point for us at this point. That's where I am. I will certainly keep you informed. That's the best way that I can say it. I'll keep you informed. I don't think that we're compromised in any sense. If we just continue doing what we were doing prior to this, we're not compromised at all. This is a moot point. We have the money. We're able to use 31A money, which is that's at-risk money, and be able to pay for Officer Cofield and whoever else it applies to. I would never put us in a situation where we go without something that we need to. So I would want everybody to walk away from here and say, we're fine. Our district is fine. Thanks to the state for considering us, but we don't need to sign a waiver. We don't need to opt in. We don't need to do any of that. We're just going to run our district the way we've been running it with the supports that we have gotten. So I just want to share that with you. That's all. What's that? No, that was old. These are talking points that I have for you that if anybody asks you about what was going on, but it's a moot point. If you don't need talking points, if we just say, we'd rather not. We're just going to move on. We do have a neighboring district, at least one that's doing the same thing, and that's Westwood Schools. Said now we're good. But their fund balance is 28%. Ours is 9.5%, as he said. But I feel good about that whatever we use, we're not going into the general fund at all. Thank you.
Thank
Wasn't
you.
my first time having a zero audit. Just thought I'd share that with you. No. I know that was your first time here, right? I know. So I was somewhere else and we had a zero audit. So just wanted to let you know that's my standard. Right, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, well, hey, well, let's celebrate. We can celebrate that for Thanksgiving. Let's celebrate the zero audit. Thank you. That's a good thing. Under your tenure, you came, both of you, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, zero audit.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, thank you.
Support.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
6:44.
That should actually be, we should frame these minutes and put them hang them up. And I like 6:44.
I got it. Yeah, the confidential meetings. 1, 2, I got 3. These are these 3. I think